The night is quiet, but your mind isn't. And the moment everything around you finally calms down, your thoughts begin to scream. If this is you, you're not alone. There's something about the night that makes your mind louder than anything else in your life. During the day, you move, you talk, you work. You distract yourself with tasks and responsibilities. You stay busy enough to keep your real thoughts hidden under everything you need to get done. But at night, when the noise stops, when the world goes dark, when no one needs anything from you anymore, your mind wakes up as if it's been waiting for this moment. You lie there, trying to breathe, trying to calm yourself, trying to sleep. But instead of peace, your brain hands you every memory, every regret, every unfinished conversation, every tiny detail you thought you had let go of. It never hands you the happy moments first. It always chooses the hardest ones. And you wonder, why does this always happen at night? Why do I overthink everything, only when I'm finally trying to rest? The truth is simple. Your mind talks at night because it wasn't allowed to talk during the day. You spend your days holding everything in. You stay composed. You stay functional. You stay strong. You stay fine. People see you moving. They see you smiling. They see you doing what you need to do. But they don't see how much you push down just to get through the day. They don't see how often you swallow your sadness just to keep going. They don't see how much you avoid thinking, because thinking hurts too much when you're still trying to survive. So nighttime becomes the only time your mind finally feels safe enough to speak. Not safe enough to rest, but safe enough to release everything you ignored, avoided, or buried. Overthinking at night isn't you being dramatic. It's your unprocessed emotions begging for attention. You're not thinking too much. You're feeling things you didn't get to feel when they first happened. And many people who overthink at night share the same quiet truth. You carry more during the day than anyone realizes. You're someone who listens more than you talk. You're someone who supports others even when you're exhausted. You're someone who acts strong even when you're breaking inside. You're the reliable one, the stable one, the emotionally self-managed one. You've learned to keep things inside because you don't want to disappoint people. You don't want to cause problems. You don't want to be misunderstood. You don't want to look weak. And deep down, you don't want to be a burden. So instead of expressing emotions in the moment you store them, you store confusion. You store fear. You store sadness. You store anger. You store guilt. You store every unsaid sentence. You store every moment you held back. And at night, everything you stored comes back all at once. This is why your nights are heavy. This is why your thoughts get loud. This is why you replay everything in painful detail. Because nighttime is the only space your mind can finally breathe. And when it breathes, it releases. People who overthink at night tend to share the same patterns. You replay conversations over and over, even though the other person has probably forgotten them. You analyze your tone, your words, your pauses, your expressions, your timing. You hear your own sentences echo in your head, rewritten in different versions, trying to figure out which one would have made everything right. You imagine worst-case scenarios, not because you're negative, but because you're afraid of being caught off guard. You rehearse future conversations just so you feel prepared. You think about things that never happened and probably never will, because your brain is trying to protect you from possible pain. You think about choices you made months or years ago and wonder if one different decision would have changed your whole life. You think about people you miss, people who hurt you. You think about things you never said, but wish you had. You think about things you did say and now regret. You think about everything except the one thing you want most: sleep. And yet your brain refuses to stop because somewhere inside you, there is a deeper truth. You don't trust yourself enough to let go. You don't trust that you made the right choices. You don't trust that you're allowed to rest without fixing everything first. You don't trust that people will stay if you're not constantly analyzing your actions. You don't trust that things will be okay unless you mentally prepare for every possible outcome. But this lack of trust didn't come from nowhere. It came from childhood. Maybe you grew up in a home where chaos was normal, where you had to stay alert, where being prepared was the only way to feel safe. Maybe you were taught to take responsibility for emotions that weren't yours, to solve problems that weren't yours, to carry burdens that weren't yours. Maybe you learned that mistakes were dangerous, that feelings were inconvenient, that expressing yourself would cause conflict you weren't ready to handle. So now, as an adult, your mind tries to control everything through overthinking. Because control feels safer than uncertainty. But safety built from fear isn't safety at all. This is why nighttime overthinking hurts. Not because your thoughts are scary, but because your mind is exhausted from trying to protect you all the time. Overthinking is not the enemy. It's a symptom, a message from your nervous system that says I'm carrying too much and I don't know how to let go. You don't quiet overthinking by forcing your mind to stop. You quiet it by giving your mind the things it needed all along: validation, understanding, honesty, permission to rest. Start by naming what you feel, not the thought, the emotion underneath it. Tell your brain, this can wait until morning. Write down your loudest thought. Slow your breath. Feel one small emotion, and slowly your nights will soften. If you overthink every night, please hear this. You're not doing this because you're weak. You're doing this because no one ever taught you how to rest safely. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve calm nights. And even if it doesn't feel like it yet, you're getting closer. You are not alone in this, and you never were.